Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMTrading. Today is December 21st, 2015, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the next couple of weeks, it looks like it's going to be kind of quiet the next couple of weeks right before we go into the Christmas holiday and the New Year's holiday. Just take note of the different trading hours that will be affected by the holidays coming up this Friday. So altogether, the markets are still happening. I mean, looking at the Euro USD, there's no economic calendar today, but jumping into the Euro USD, we're bouncing off this 108.28. We're trading at about 108.70, and it's still at the middle of this range. And we had mentioned this last week that this would be a good place to pick it up. And sure enough, you could have made 40 to 50 pips in this rally. So, where is it going to go from here? Well, perhaps we'll rally into the end of the year, perhaps not, but we got to keep within this range, 109.55 and 108.28. So right now we're in the middle of the range, so I wouldn't, if you're not in a position in the Euro USD, I wouldn't jump into it right away. But looking at the CAD, USD CAD right here, we had some numbers coming out last week, and it may be a point where this thing actually starts leveling off. I mean, we're on bulls and bears here. We rallied all the way up to 139.93. We're trading at 139.27, and this is unprecedented. I mean, this goes all the way back to 2003, 2004-ish level, and that is really almost a decade ago. So it's kind of interesting how far the USD CAD has gone down. It's mostly because of the oils, the price of oil, the production of the countries that are dependent on oil are obviously being affected. So it's interesting how the different economies are being affected by this depreciation of the price of oil, and the CAD is a case in point of that. Obviously the ruble, but as you can see, the CAD is being affected to it. Looking and speaking about oil, we're trading at 34.45. I mean, is this thing going to go to $1? I mean, this is really crazy. The projection is still for it to go up to $30 a barrel, and at this level, we're below $35, and that's usually a telltale sign that we're inching closer to $29 to $30. So I think we'll hit $32. We may stay there. We may bounce off of it, but altogether, the price of oil is very, very cheap, and as you can see, the forward prices of flights are also very cheap, and that's an indication that the price is going to remain this way for a little bit. Looking at the Dow Jones had a colossal sell-off last week towards the end of last week, and we're just trading at, guess what? We're at the support level. So the question is, are we going to bounce off of this? So I'm more inclined to think that we're not going to bounce of it, because if we look at gold, gold is bouncing. So when gold is getting stronger, the Dow Jones gets weaker, and so I feel that we're going to break lower, but again, that's not to say that it's etched in stone just because Fred Razak says it. So what you can do is definitely take a position to protect yourself on the downside. We may, on the flip side, we may still rally into the end of the year, bringing us back to 17,000, let's say 500-ish level, which well may be the case. The U.S. economy is doing very well, whether it's because of the depreciation of the value of oil, whether it's just the economic climate in the U.S. is doing very well. But the U.S. is making money. Corporations are making money. Things are expanding. And that might be the background to why Fed Chairman Yellen actually raised the interest rates from 0 to a quarter, which is, really a major thing, especially what happened in the past year. So I to say that it's gonna, for sure sell off to 16,000, I'm not there. But just take into consideration that Dow Jones is a futures market. So we're looking about 6 months ahead when we're looking at the Dow Jones. So, are we at the top of the move right now? And therefore, it's just being priced in that 6 months from now, we should be at 17,000, because by that time, the Fed's decision, the Fed's action of raising the interest rates will have been affected in the market and taken into account. That all remains to be seen. But as we could see here, the price is at a threshold. So major threshold here on the Dow Jones. If you do get an opportunity to trade it, definitely look at and keep it on your visor. Looking at gold, gold is trading at 1070. And if we look at it bounced off this 1054 level. So what I'm inclined to say is that this 1054 level, 1055-ish level, is a support for it. Now, it's not to say that we're going to go back to 1800, but you know, we will be trading within this range for a little bit. And so with that in mind, just keep an eye on gold vis-a-vis the Dow Jones, especially as we enter the holiday season. Looking at the USD Rand here, USD Rand is just flatlining at 15, which is maybe a better situation for the USD Rand as its high was 16. So we're about 100 pips less than where we were last week, and so take that into consideration. But we're still way off where we could be. So in essence, it might not be trading on the daily, since last week's or 2 weeks ago, since the beginning of the month, but I'd still keep an eye on it. Okay, not to say that it's going to be the greatest trade of the week, but as it falters here and kind of consolidates and finds its new range, I'd look for the next possible move. Now, it may not happen in the next week or two, but since it has appreciated so much depreciated so much over the past year and a half, 2 years, I'd keep an eye on it, especially since we had this big rally before. So let's see if President Zuma can actually choose a good and solid finance minister to help the economy in South Africa get back on track. This is Razak at CMTrading. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.